ISC, Indian School of Commerce, is a premium transnational commerce education and business school network in India, offering undergraduate and postgraduate programs in international business and finance of the University of West of Scotland. ISC imparts education of international standards through a holistic approach and cutting-edge training to the students to cater to the current professional demand. ACCA stands for the parents here, Association of Chartered Certified Accountants, a global body of successful professionals in the finance and accounting field. The organization has over 500,000 members and students in 180 countries around the world. Professionals with an ACCA qualification are highly sought after by employers because a certificate represents integrity, business acumen, and financial knowledge, all of which are valuable traits for any company. Our panelists are Mr. Venugopal V. Menon, Director, Kerala Growth Projects, International Skill Development Corporation, Mr. Ren Verma, Head of Partnership for Emerging Markets, ACCA, Mr. Milind Datte, Director, Learning and Development, International Skill Development Corporation, Mr. Ram Perumal, Founder and CEO, H. Garb Informatics Private Limited. Mr. Ram would be joining us by about 12. Mr. Thomas Chaku, Program Head, UWS Programs, Indian School of Commerce. We also have with us Mr. Sharvana Kumar, Head of South India, ACCA. We also have with us our alumni and students, Angel Davis, Angel Mary, Syed Muhammad Niraz, and Anto Jose. We have about 500 plus students and parents who have joined with us. Welcome all. The webinar on the topic Explore Global Finance Programs and Career Pathways is to discuss on the scope of global integrated finance programs, the evolving global accounting trends, and the effective ways to calibrate oneself to meet the demands of the transforming finance profession. Over to the speaker's slot, please. May I invite Mr. Venugopal V. Menon, Director, Kerala Growth Projects, International Skill Development Corporation, to deliver the special address, please. Mr. Menon hails from Kochi and his professional accounting qualification of AICWA and banking qualification of CAIIB. He's got more than 25 years of experience in banking, steel, and education sectors. Having served as Director Academic Relations in ISDC, Mr. Menon has now moved in his role of Director Kerala Growth Projects, ISDC. Mr. Menon will be speaking on embracing change positively. Sir, please.
Thank you, Bindu ma'am. Good morning to panel members, participants, alumni members, and everyone. I'm very much happy to see that a lot of students are taking or participating in this webinar and showing interest in taking up qualification which will lead them to positions in financial management portfolio in industries or business houses. Being a finance professional, it gives me a lot of rejoice to see that of late, the demand for commerce qualification or professional accounting qualifications.
May I invite Mr. Ren Verma, Head of Partnership for Emerging Markets, ACCA, to deliver the keynote address, please. Mr. Verma joined ACCA as a Head of Partnership for Emerging Markets with 16 years of business experience in the UK and India, 12 of which has been in the education sector in the UK and other countries. He's a passionate professional with experience of both private and public sector organizations, possessing a unique understanding of the relationship between the two. Mr. Ren possesses sound business sense with excellent leadership qualities proven by leading and nurturing international teams and projects across the globe. Mr. Ren Verma, please, for the keynote address.
Thank you, Bindu. Mr. Milind, Mr. Thomas Chaku, Mr. Venugopal Menon, alumni, my colleague Sharvana Kumar, dear students, and parents. I'm very delighted to be part of this webinar today in the presence of future finance leaders of tomorrow's India and the world. Mr. Venugopal is here. Do we want to continue that?
Continue, sir.
Or?
Continue, sir. There is some problem with my net connection. Continue, sir.
Fine.
Please.
Oh, fine. All right. Thank you. So, as you all know, we all live in a highly competitive world, which is so much demanding. I always feel that you have to blow up your whistle in the highest pitch and roll on the rails in full steam to be in the fray. So we all have heard about Darwin's proclaimed theory, the survival of the fittest. And in a way, the world is still at it. We've learned from history that the citizens of Sparta left their children at a very tender age in a valley of a mountain, and only those who survived the intense cold and the wind were taken home. As Sparta was surrounded by warring city-states, they required strong warriors for its survival. And in this age, learning, knowledge, and skills are the new tools that support life. So I'd just like to give you some stats to give you a view of the competition that we face in India. So as you are aware, India has got one of the largest educational systems in the world, comparable to China. India has more than 1.4 million schools, have got more than 250 million students enrolled in these schools. And every year, it is estimated that nearly 28 million students complete the higher secondary level education. And of these 28 million, nearly 18%, that's around approximately 5 million of those students, go on to complete an undergraduate degree in commerce, finance, or a related stream. But if you look at the skills gap, it is estimated that nearly 60% of the graduates in the country do not have the relevant skills that the employers are looking for. And when it comes to commerce, accounting, and finance stream, only 2.59% of the commerce, accounting, or finance graduates have the relevant skills that employers are looking for. So I just want to say, in today's world, a degree is no longer enough to secure a job. Employers are looking for graduates who can prove they have good technical skills, communication skills, advanced digital literacy, especially in light of the changing scenario post-pandemic, and strong team working abilities, as well as relevant work experience. And with a huge number of applicants coming for the same role, you need to make sure that you stand out through your involvements and achievements. And the changing demographic profile of the world demands that the intelligent Indian youth to cater to the economic growth. So the government also has moved in this direction by introducing schemes like Skill India, and we have the recently approved National Education Policy in India as one such example. The key challenge that the young population are facing is the lack of relevant skills that the employers are looking for. One of the things is that students do have theoretical knowledge, but they lack an application of the knowledge and also the relevant skills that the industry is demanding. Let me tell you the story of the lumberjack competition. A lumberjack is a person who cuts trees, or a woodcutter. So in America, they call them lumberjacks. So the story goes as such. So there was an old lumberjack known for his speed at cutting down trees. One day he was challenged by a younger, stronger lumberjack who knew he could beat the older guy in a head-to-head contest and earn glory for himself. So the young lumberjack challenged the old-timer, and the experienced lumberjack agreed. The day of the contest arrived, and the two competitors began to work. The younger lumberjack started in immediately and worked tirelessly all day without stopping, cutting down tree after tree. While he was working, he noticed that the older lumberjack took a 15-minute break every hour. The younger man smiled as he continued to work, confident that he would be the victor this day. Yet, at the end of the workday, when the cut trees were counted, the experienced lumberjack had felled nearly 1/3 more trees than the younger man. The young lumberjack was incredulous. How could the old guy have cut more trees than he did when he worked 25% less time than he had? It absolutely made no sense. So he swallowed his pride and approached the old older lumberjack, congratulated him on his victory, and asked him the question, how did you beat me? How did you work less time and cut down more trees? I didn't stop all day, but you stopped every hour. The wise old lumberjack smiled and told the youngster, I stopped for 15 minutes every hour to sharpen my axe. And so the work that I did was more productive. So we all have heard from Stephen. Uh, I'm sure every one of you might have read or come across the book Stephen Covey's Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. So in his book, he has actually popularized the term "sharpen the axe." The woodcutter only becomes more productive by sharpening his blade, analyzing new woodcutting techniques, exercising to become stronger, and learning from other woodcutters. So Abraham Lincoln is regarded as one of the most important presidents in American history. He was well known for his energy and productivity. Lincoln's productivity secret was to use sharper tools to get the job done more efficiently. What he said was that give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. So Lincoln, who was a skilled woodcutter, became before becoming the president, probably meant this both literally and figuratively. Inefficient tools waste energy. It's better to spend the majority of time finding and cultivating the best tools for any task. So that we have to understand from this is that it is important to have the right skills and tools to be successful in any job. The steps that you are taking to choose a career in business, finance, and accounting will prepare you well to be able to navigate and balance the significant challenges that we face today in the world and turn them into opportunities for your future. And finance professionals play an important and central role in running any business they're working, helping to make the business a success. So a career in accountancy and finance will mean you are valued and will offer you respect. And the good thing is that you'll be able to work in any sector once you have achieved ACCA membership, opening up opportunities to you. This is because every organization, big or small, local or global, need finance professionals. You could work your way right to the top of an organization with a ACCA membership. A career in accountancy is rewarding, both financially and in offering challenging and satisfying roles. We all would agree that the global business landscape continues to change due to a combination of market volatility, globalization, and innovation in how we do business. And it's amplified by rapid advances in science and technology, demographic changes. Pandemic is a typical example, and the emergence of new business models. Employers are expecting employees that can add value from day one. And in the finance arena, professionals that have a broad range of capabilities from supporting business to managing risk, developing growth strategies, providing financial insight, and managing stakeholder relationships. And of course, ensuring that all of these skills come with strong ethics and professional judgment. This would allow you to access many more job opportunities than ever before. Employers are also expecting finance leaders not only to have technical skills and ensure that the numbers are rightly and correctly reported, but also communicate, present, and work in partnership with others, building soft and leadership skills that, as professional accountants, will give you access to opportunities beyond accounting and finance. That is why, more than ever before, many of the CEOs and leaders of many organizations, both private and public domains, have a finance background. I'm sure, like a bit later, Mr. Ram Perumal would be joining, who is the CEO of HCAR, and he's from a finance background. So in India, the opportunity for finance professionals are endless with the implementation of IFRS. The need for professional accountants will more than double to existing number of professionals in the country. So our experience is that when major economies such as India become part of the global standards community, their voice is heard on how standards are developed and applied, which means greater ability to influence more interconnected and ethical economies, which thrive in sustainable economic development. The world of finance and accounting is no longer about numbers, but increasingly about cooperation and negotiation, about working in partnership with others within and outside your organizations. That means that finance professionals not only need to be good with the science of accounts, but to have an awareness of how the world of business works and participating in the direction it is heading. So ACCA is very well placed to support this requirement and will give you an edge over others. Also, the many opportunities in the GBS or global business services and financial services in India and globally, as well as the corporate and entrepreneurship sectors, and to become a fully professionally qualified accountant and finance professional, you'll have to also undertake 3 years of experience. And we, ACCA and ISTC, we are constantly working with employers to ensure that they are aware of the value that ACCAs bring to their organizations. So employers like EY, KPMG, Shell, Barclays, HP, to name a few, and up to more than 7,400 employers globally whom we work with are eagerly waiting for candidates who have the ACCA qualification, not only in India, but globally in more than 180 countries where ACCA has members and students. So the opportunities awaiting you are endless. And I want to congratulate you for taking the first step towards both choosing the education institution, ISTC, ISC, that will prepare you to acquire and demonstrate those much needed skills in the workplace, as well as ACCA professional qualification that will support you not only through your studies, but throughout your career as you continue to advance and demonstrate the skills and value that an ACCA provides to business. So both ISTC and ACCA have the aim of ensuring that you, India's future leaders and finance professionals, have the expertise and professionalism equal to the international counterparts. So I thank you in advance for all the inspiration and collaboration that you will continue to foster for your future in becoming professional accountants that the world needs. Now, as you are embarking on this journey, let me wish you all the very best in your career. Thank you, and wish you the very best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Ren. I think inspiring talks like this, students would be all ears to listen to it every day. It was a great way to start. And then Buzia Morel, I would say, and then the way you started, the value of Spartans, survival of the fittest, which is very, very relevant to the current scenario, because unless and until the axe are sharpened, there is no way. Academic knowledge alone is not going to help. Great way to put it across and show that. And when you said there are umpteen opportunities are there, and then students just need to pick it up, I could see smiles in all your faces saying that, oh God, I mean, we are there, we are moving towards the destination. Great way. Thank you so very much for that address. Venugopal sir.
Ma'am,
yes.
what I suggest is,
yes, sir.
Put me the end, because
okay.
Anyway, let others complete it.
Right. Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Milind. Now, may I invite Mr. Milind Datte, Director, Learning and Development, International Skill Development Corporation, to speak on emerging global education trends in finance. A renowned strategist, management expert, and trainer, Mr. Datte comes with a rich blend of industry experience of 25 years and 10 years in training, exposure to Indian and MNCs in India and abroad at CXO levels, exposure to a cross-section of industries, such as industrial equipment, manufacturing, contracting, pharma, retail, trade, and service, and education. A renowned speaker at different forums and roundtables, Mr. Datte has helped many Indian universities in upgrading their curriculum, training their faculty, and by acting as a member of their Board of Studies and Academic Council. Mr. Milind Datte, please, sir.
Thank you very much, Bindu ma'am, for your kind introduction. And I'm equally delighted to be part of this valuable webinar organized by ISC. Good morning and very good early morning for those from UK. And I'm very much happy to see the kind of eagerness with which students and parents of modern times have started taking keen interest in taking informed decisions by having recourse to the knowledge that is available everywhere in the world. Well, change is the name of the game, no doubt about it. But if I take what Mr. Rain said earlier, survival of the fittest, and I continue with that by saying how to stay fit in the field of your own chosen careers. And one such way of you making yourself very fit in the careers which are in the domain of accounting, finance, taxation, audit, etc., is to stay relevant. Unless you're relevant from the perspective of the market, the industry, your race of survival for the fittest is not going to start as such. And therefore, you need to make sure that you prepare yourself in such a way that it helps you create a futuristic approach which will stay relevant regardless of times. Well, unfortunately, it always happens that education and education system always lags behind. Things start happening first in the industry, and then the industry suddenly finds that, hey, they need a workforce to take care of those initiatives, to take care of those advancements and developments. But then there are no people available. And therefore, they look back to the universities, to the institutions, to build that capacity which will help them with the kind of workforce with necessary skills that are relevant in the marketplace. And this is exactly where institutions like ACCA, ISC, and ISDC come into picture. With the vision as thinking for the future and ISDC's vision for skills for tomorrow, we definitely walk the talk by offering the students with qualifications that embody everything that is related to future. Well, whenever you talk about emerging trends, trends are always studied with opportunities on one hand and challenges on the other hand. Unless you make yourself capable of handling challenges, you won't be in a position to take advantage of the opportunities that come your way. And that is where we need to understand how the professional institutions like ACCA and their counterparts in other fields like cost and management, accounting, auditing, etc., how do they build their education package to take care of the emerging technologies, emerging initiatives, and new concepts in the field of accounting and finance. And they worked ahead of time. It was 10 years before IFRS, in fact, became the first globalized accounting standard. ACCA had included IFRS in their curriculum way back in 1996. Now, this definitely makes things completely different for the students who are always seeking to get advanced knowledge. Having said that, and also having due regard to the kind of unprecedented pandemic that the world faced, let me talk about some of the emerging trends which have been built into various qualifications by ACCA, ISDC, as well as ISC through the courses that they offer to the students of India. Well, we all know management principles of the timeless era that we live in need to be applied to the fields and domains of accounting, finance, and auditing, as well as legal compliances, etc. So management principles is a must for all the commerce students, accounting students to understand, because that is what will help them to convert their technical knowledge into business knowledge. Digital transformation is another thing which is now very well built into the curriculum. ACCA, in fact, has built in, things like digital transformation, digital finance, digital money, including cryptocurrencies, into various subjects that they offer through their qualification. No need for me to overemphasize the way in which we are witnessing colossal and continuous focus on digitization, adoption of new emerging technologies. The aim is not just to introduce technology to the students, but make them aware as to how these technologies can be used to bring up operational efficiencies in the finance domain. It's not that the new technologies are useful only for the technocrats. It's equally useful for accountants and finance professionals, because they are the ones who are going to make use of the technologies in the field of information management, data management. And therefore, even if we are not supposed to have a complete expertise on the technical aspects of it, but definitely tomorrow's students will need to have the business perspective of all these technologies, such as artificial intelligence, big data analytics, machine learning. Because all these new technologies, while they definitely apply to the production and services, they equally apply to the field of finance, internal control, and audit. So whichever function you are going to handle, whichever function you want to become expert in, you need to definitely be aware of these technologies. And that has been a recent addition to the curriculums of these professional accounting qualifications. If you remain only an accountant, you're going to look at only transactional aspect, transactional perspective. You will be only doing the transactional recording. But if you add the flavor of technology to your knowledge domain, you will be becoming a part of decision-making team in the organizations, whether you work for others or you work with your own startup. And this is, in fact, if you look at the various reports that are published, research reports published by the Boston Consulting Group or the McKinsey's, you will always find the thrust on automation and robotics in the field of accounting and finance process improvements, data visualization, because decisions are taken by the businessman based on the available information. So visualizing the data, which otherwise won't make sense to anyone, is an added advantage for tomorrow's accounting and finance professionals. You have to make sure that management gets best end user kind of an experience through the analytics as a decision support system in any organization. Well, digital finance and digital money, DFDM as they call it in the modern language, wherein we talk about new financial products that never existed about 10 years ago. And these are the products that are going to determine the financial product market, financial markets of the world in the upcoming future, very near future. The finance professionals who were once upon very much proud of having the knowledge about LIBOR rates are soon going to be irrelevant totally, because LIBOR, which is London Interbank Offer Rate, it's a base interest rate, is going to die by December 21. And therefore, again, as I said, what you need to know, therefore, is the other types of interest rates that are impacting the market scenario. And that is what exactly is getting built into the new educational curriculums. Digital money. All of us in India experienced the demonetization drive in 2016, 5 years down the line. While there are pros and cons, there are challenges thrown open by that decision. However, not like any time before, Indians are now getting in tune with use of virtual money. It's even children are easily able to make the payments using the mobile phones, using the technology. Even a housemaid you can pay in terms of GPay or phone pay. Use of technology in transactions. All these accounting and financial transactions are possibly driven by technology, and it's only going to increase in future, not going to stop at any stage. And what you require for application of that is definitely going to be the financial system softwares. And students of modern day have this as a great opportunity to learn while they are doing their undergraduate or professional accounting qualification courses. Because financial softwares, which are the best softwares like SAP or Oracle, which are now embedded in the curriculum by many B schools, they will help you to understand how at the back end the financial systems run. And I know people in their teenage today are coming up with apps that can easily help people to process their transactions. This is an application in the field of finance, the application of technology. Soon, I mean, students of yesteryears knew how companies used to raise money in the capital markets by issue of equity shares, by issue of bonds and debentures, etc., etc. Soon, there will be a whole lot of companies seeking money, not actually in terms of money, but in terms of cryptos. The initial coin offering, instead of initial public offering, ICO, is now going to be the best possible way and cost-effective way of raising money for many, many organizations. And the trend has already started in the Western world. And I'm again proud to say ACCA has already roped in this in its syllabus 2 years ago. Initial coin offering. Blockchain technology, which is going to be useful for the students who are interested in joining, supply chain, logistics, and such other types of industry. Blockchain has been introduced in the syllabus. It has been there in the curriculum. So, dear students, what I'm trying to tell you is that there is a whole gamut of technology-based applications that are necessitated for advancing your careers in the field of accounting, commerce, and finance. And therefore, it's my earnest request to all of you, again referring back to what Ren said, if you want to be fittest, you should be relevant. And the only way for you to remain relevant is to look at the courses that will help you stay relevant by offering you the courses that are futuristic, so that you are future-ready finance professional of tomorrow. And that is what you all should definitely always try and seek for your own benefit. Benefit in terms of building very good careers in this domain. And that's why, as Ren rightly said, you have taken the first foot forward, which is the right decision that you're going to make pretty soon if you have not made. I wish you all the very best, personally on my behalf and on behalf of ISDC as well as ISC. Thank you for letting me share my views with you. And let me assure you once again that if you look at the course curriculum that we are offering, you will understand all those things which I just narrated to you in brief time. Thank you very much and wish you all the very best for your future careers.
Thank you, sir. As the saying goes, it is not the unemployment ratio which scares us, but the lack or the shortage of people with employable skills. That is what you were rightly saying, staying fit is staying relevant. And wading through, as you rightly said, wading through with opportunity on one hand and challenges on another. That is what the task is there right in front of the students. Upskilling, very important. Staying relevant, very important. I'm sure that the message would have definitely reached all the students and the parents are hearing us. Thank you so very much for putting it across beautifully. Thank you so much. Now, Mr. Ram Perumal has joined with us. Very good afternoon, Mr. Ram.
Good afternoon, Ms.
Yes,
Bindu.
yes, please. Your speaking slot is now. Maybe go ahead, or is it okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I can, yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah. I invite Mr. Ram Perumal, founder and CEO, H-Garb Informatics Private Limited, to speak on global skill sets expected by employers from budding finance professionals. Mr. Ramaswamy Perumal is a qualified chartered and cost accountant from India. He has also completed the top 3 professional qualifications in the US, CPA, CMA, and CFA. He's also qualified CISA from ISA CA USA. Mr. Ram started his career in 1983 by becoming partner of a leading audit firm in Chennai. While being in practice, his extensive experience in income tax, internal and statutory audits, bank audit, and corporate law. After being in the practice for 17 years, he decided to move on to information technology, and in 2000 have acquired knowledge and experience in SAP and business intelligence. He started working in senior positions with global MNCs, including R.R. Donnelly, Wipro, Telematics, and Genpact. He moved from IT to BPO and has been heading global operations in finance and accounting and served Fortune 100 companies. He was managing global teams across India, Europe, UK, US, and China, and has traveled widely. He decided to give up the corporate career to become an entrepreneur in 2017 and has founded H-Garb Informatics, which is providing high-end financial services to global customers. Mr. Ram is also connected to academics and has been a faculty for CPA, CFA, and ACCA since 2000. He has also spoken in various professional forums. Mr. Ram, please.
Thank you for that good introduction, Bindu. So, do you have a question or should I start?
Sorry, you may start, please.
Okay, I think the question which was...
Sir, you will be speaking on the global skill sets expected by employers from budding finance professionals.
Right, okay, got it. Yeah, thank you. So, yeah, talking about the skills required in the current scenario. So, because I come from a legacy in terms of, the manual methods of, how do you do the accounting, and, completely evolved method in terms of completely automated. So I can recall the days when I was in during my articleship, during my audit period. So it used to be like, the whole 3 years was spent more in terms of actually, getting through large volumes of cash book and ledgers and manually reconciling and tallying the trial balance. I wouldn't have spent a lot of time in terms of basically getting into analyzing the data, but more in terms of getting the trial balance. But I think with the globalization which started in 2000 and further, the technology innovations due to the cost of the networking and the data storage and the computing power becoming a lot more cheaper, and India becoming a major hub in terms of the outsourcing. I think the finance and accounting today is a lot different from what we used to have it earlier, and the evolution of the SAP and other platforms, the ERP platform. It used to be very expensive. Only the large company, multi-billion-dollar company could afford. Today, we are implementing SAP on cloud for even smaller companies. Say with 30-40 crore company, they're actually going in for SAP implementation. So what does that mean? Basically, companies are looking at automating most of the function. And when I say most of the function, you have 3 broad functions within any finance department. I'm speaking particularly with regard to the finance and accounting department. So we have largely the 3 broad functions, which is the accounts payable, the accounts receivable, and the reporting. If you take the current SAP system, accounts payable is going to be automatically done. So you have the invoice, it is going to be scanned across, and then before that there's going to be a purchase order which is going to be generated by the purchase department. So that is going to be completely automated. The need for an accountant to enter an AP invoice is going to be only if it is going to be a paper handwritten invoice, and that is almost fading away. So there is not going to be much work in, say, if you want to get into account payable department, manage the AP. Coming into the AR side, so you're going to be having all the collection, and that is also being automated, and the way it is going to be done in the future is a lot more easier. Then talking about the reporting, now we are talking about artificially intelligent systems like SAP, what we are currently working upon. It can even actually prompt what should be the closing entry, like what should be your prepayment entry, what should be your accrual entry. It actually learns. It learns and starts giving you the entries accordingly. We have something called a closing cockpit, and the closing cockpit will have a list of steps to be done in the month end. So if you see in terms of the finance person getting into like, doing only the transaction based work, which used to be the work earlier, that's a lot more change. So they're going to be getting out of it. It is going to be a lot more in terms of, the IFRS. In fact, last week I had a session with one of the European company. They wanted to have, for say 150 people, a training session on IFRS. Very practical training session on IFRS. IFRS, if you take a simple definition, it is only revenue recognition. But when you actually get into IFRS and get through the various components, how do you recognize the revenue? That is going to be really a challenging work in terms of understanding the rules and then applying. So I would say getting into IFRS, I'm just giving you an example of say revenue recognition. Similarly, if you get into pension, it is going to be so complex. If you get into the lease related accounting, there have been changes also. The changes have become necessary because of the globalization and the companies going across to various countries. And so what is happening is as a qualified accountant, the ability for you to actually pick up the IFRS standard. How do you interpret the IFRS standard? It's not simple. If you take for each industry, IFRS 15 is going to be unique. If it is going to be say software and maintenance, there are going to be bundled services. Similarly, you go to some other company, it's going to be different. And now with evolving business models, like it's going to be like now the aggregators. When I say aggregators, the aggregators of taxis like the Uber, the aggregator of room space like Airbnb. So the aggregators model is going to be something different. So you need to definitely know what is going to be your IFRS standard applicable to an aggregator. The models are evolving day by day, and in the future, we don't know what the models are going to be emerging out of this. So I think the most important part for any person is to know and as an accounting professional to get into the respective standard. The second is, I would say that basically, as I told, the way we were actually doing it, say 20 years back to now, you need to definitely know what is technology. And the current technologies are really progressing and evolving over a period. And future would be, say that ERPs also may not be that. So accounting entries may happen in blockchain, and you may not even get into the accounting part. So currently, if you take, you need to definitely know the technology side, starting with a simple Excel. So we do hire a lot of KCCA professionals. The one thing which we actually start on day one is actually getting them into the Excel related work, and the amount of, because we actually do extensive data analysis, and so we as a consumer of financial report, we actually go through a lot of financial statement. At a time it could be 20,000 financial statement. So our team really gets into understanding. We basically use the Excel for those. Of course, we have other applications. Excel is going to be very important to start with. Any professional who's going to be completing ACC or currently doing the ACCM should actually get into more and more of Excel. So that's a starting point, and get into one or two other applications. Get to know what is SAP, because SAP almost is like 70% of the global market. You have Oracle, NetSuite, and other, and that is going to be your digitalization part. And I think the fact that last year we had the COVID pandemic and everybody went digital, and going digital, and what is necessitated is the companies which had the manual system, they are struggling. So they are not able to actually ramp up their business. The companies which went digital, they are doing really well. And now you see there is a trend. A lot of companies are actually coming forward to completely digitalize their entire business operation. So when I say it is not only the finance and accounting department, it is going to be across, starting with the purchasing, getting on to production, and into the sales, and then into the finance. And who best can be a person to get into ERP customization? I would say an accounting professional would be the best for getting into the ERP customization. The reason being, the person who knows the finance knows the business very well. And if a person knows the business very well, he or she can get into customizing purchases or production, or say, given a period of say 1 month training, they'll definitely get into. And in fact, actually, we have ACC affiliates. We have hired them. They are freshers. They have actually gone into SAP implementation in the last 1 year. And the amount of knowledge they gained in the last 1 year is immense. They now know exactly how a company works. And if they have to go and talk to somebody, they can actually walk through if it is a process industry or an assembly industry. I think getting to know one, as I told you, the IFRS standards, the evolving IFRS standards, the technology. So technology, there are multiple technologies. I would say a couple of technologies to pick up and start, and then slowly get on into that. And I believe there are certain companies, even the finance team in the US, they are sent for Python coding. So Python really helps in terms of taking large amount of data, analyzing. It could be used for multiple purposes. So I would say that the emerging trend is more in terms of not the transaction processing, going to more into the interpretation of the standards, then get into how to actually digitalize your company operation. And once you do that, you have a lot of data. How you can actually take the data, how you can interpret. You have to be working in line with the CEO and the chief operating officer of a company. You're going to be enabling the company to grow their revenue, optimize the cost. So you have the data, you know how to actually pick it up and give, and you can actually slice and dice the data which you actually give. I think these three pillars are going to be really very important for a person who's actually doing the ACCA or any accounting professional going forward to look at.
Thank you, Mr. Perumal. Those were actually the words from a finance expert who has actually gone through the transformation in the accounting sector practically. So the world of automation ahead, days of reduced human error ahead, the need is just to be ready with the necessary skills. Thank you so very much, Mr. Perumal.
Thank you.
Yeah, for putting it across to the students. Now, if I may invite Mr. Thomas Chakku, Program Head, UWS Programs at Indian School of Commerce, to speak on the global integrated finance programs offered by Indian School of Commerce. Mr. Thomas Chakku has a University of West of Scotland program at Indian School of Commerce, is a professional member of fellow Chartered Accountants, Association of Chartered Certified Accountants, and Certified Management Accountant bodies. Mr. Chakku comes with about 24 years of experience in teaching and various other industries in India and abroad. Mr. Thomas Chakku, sir, please.
Thank you very much, Vidya ma'am, for your great introduction. Respected panelists, alumni, prospective students, and all other participants. So I'm here to introduce to you about the global integrated finance programs offered by Indian School of Commerce. So I will just present to you the programs offered by us. Basically, we offer two professional finance programs, integrated programs, BA Honors, International Business and Finance, and MBA, International Business and Finance. And now a brief about these programs. First of all, this course certificates, transcripts, all issued by the University of West of Scotland. And this is BA is SCQF level 10 qualification, and MBA is SCQF level 11 qualification. To make it more clear for you, SCQF stands for Scottish Credit and Qualification Framework. You know, Scotland, there are total 12 levels are there. So 12th level means like doctorates, PhD and all. So level 11 means, just one level behind that, so is one of the highest levels of qualifications, and is accredited by 11 professional bodies. And we conduct these programs in locations in Kochi, Bangalore, Sharjah, and Colombo. And about University of West of Scotland, it's one of the largest modern and multi-campus state university with its origins dating back to 1897. And it is actually top 600 universities in 2020 World University Rankings and top 150 of Young University Rankings 2020. This is actually research conducted by the Times Higher Education. And actually, the UWS is well known for career-focused teaching, world-leading research, and it actually runs a lot of international students are there, and they have got a far-sighted approach to technology and innovation. They are very well known. And let me just give a brief about the programs, what we run here. One is BA Honors Program. It's a duration 3 years in 6 semesters. And the entry requirement is +2 or equivalent. And total students have to qualify 22 exams plus 1 project. And it's basically specializing in international business and finance. And this program we run in Kochi, Colombo, and Sharjah. And then we have another program, an MBA program, which is duration is 12 to 18 months time. And entry requirement is undergraduate bachelor degree or equivalent. And you have got 10 papers, 10 exams, plus 1 project. This is also specializing in international business and finance. This program we run in Kochi, Bangalore, Colombo, and Sharjah. And one of the specialities of all these programs, we got a lot of accreditations. We got accreditation from 11 professional bodies, especially from ACCA and CIMA. And ACCA, as you are aware, 9 papers are exempted, and students have to qualify only 4 more papers to become eligible for ACCA or to become a member of ACCA. And CMA also only the final strategic level papers, they have to do it. And in addition to that, there are some courses where there are direct entries are there. Direct entries, even without doing any further exams, some courses like IFI, Institute of Financial Accountants, some programs you can get direct membership. And to know more, actual details about these programs, you can always visit our website www.isc.edu.in because during this webinar, in a very short time, we can't explain all the details. But of course, we'll be taking up the questions towards the end. And this is actually UWS campus in Scotland. And this is some of the ceremonies we conducted, graduation ceremonies. And this is actually the graduation ceremony we conducted for BA and MBA students in November 2019. All right, so that's all about this brief about these programs, and we'll be taking up further questions towards the end. All right, okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. There is a there is a question which has been posted by Arvind Nair to Mr. Ren Verma. Would age be an issue while polishing our skills to meet the employer's requirement for a finance job?
It's a question to me?
Yeah. Mr. Ren Verma.
Yeah.
It's a question, to Mr. Ren.
Okay. Sir.
Thank you, Bindu. That's a very good question. I mean, we've got. I'll give my views on that. I believe that age is never an issue for anything. Age is never an issue. It's never too late to do anything. And in fact, we are in this juncture in the last 1.5 years. I mean, the whole world has changed. The traditional ways of working, the earlier models are changing with the, now you can see most of the organizations are going into remote working. A lot of changes are happening. So I think it's a time for every one of us to, acquire new skills, polish new skills, bring in new skills. So it's never, I would say that age is never an issue, but I would welcome the thoughts of employees like Mr. Ram, Milind, etc. as well on these.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, thank you. Mr. Ram, would you like to add on?
Sure. I can give my personal experience in terms of learning. So I did my CA around 35 years back, and 35 to 30 years back, 38 years back, and around 20 years back, I started my career again in terms of getting into the education in 2000 when I started going to the US. Ever since then, so I've been actually adding up, got more and more interested into the studies, and I feel that age is not a bar, and the more you actually acquire knowledge, whether in a very standardized way or as a qualification or gaining through books, I think it is going to be a lot of knowledge, and I think that will come very, very handy when you come with practical situations and so I would say from my personal experience, age is not a bar, and I still want to do something more, and looking forward to doing. And even when we recruit, so we have a wide difference in terms of the team. So we do have very senior people, one or two in the range of say 50 plus, and we have the majority in the 20 to 30 bracket, and majority coming as ACC affiliate. They're like 21, 22 to a broad range, but we see a good camaraderie and the way the juniors learn from the seniors, because you get a lot of experience from the senior people. So with regard to recruiting, we don't have any bar in terms of recruiting based on the age, and I think qualifying at any age is it's really worthwhile.
Well, that was quite promising. Arvind, you heard what the experts got to say on your question. Thank you so very much. Venugopal sir.
Yeah, ma'am.
Would you like to add on, sir, because you had a network issue and then you didn't complete?
No. So I think I can have two words with the participants.
Yes, yeah.
There may be some problem with my network. I don't know whether it's audible or not.
Right, sir. Now for the alumni insights, alumni to speak for 2 minutes each on their career, on their academic journey, I would rather say. We have with us our students and alumni, Angel Davis, who is ex-Rajagiri College of Social Sciences. She was working as assistant professor. We have Angel Mary, who is an ACCA finalist. We have Syed Mohammad Miroz, who is ex-EY, ex-BDO, who is also an entrepreneur. We have Anto Jose, who is an ACCA finalist. Now let's start the knowledge or the experience share with Angel Mary. Angel Mary is an ACCA finalist. Angel Mary, over to you, please.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning. I'll be sharing my journey from starting to study ACCA, joining ISE. So like every other student, even I was confused to what to take after school. But I always had an interest in accounts. So I decided that I will be choosing something related to accounts. Still, I didn't know what to do. Then I came to know about ACCA from my friends and teachers at my school. I got interested in that and I searched more about it. Then I had decided I'll be doing ACCA. But still, I didn't know which institute to choose, as there were many institutes offering ACCA. And ISE was suggested by my brother, and I asked him why ISE. He told me I will be able to complete ACCA along with a bachelor's degree. I thought about it and I felt that's a better choice. And that's how I joined ISE. But even after I joined ISE, I was very tensed as I will be doing my P level directly without doing my foundation level. But I was able to complete my P level with the help of my P level tutors. I was able to complete all my P level exams in my first attempt itself. And one of my P-level tutor is Thomas Carr, who is present in the panel today. And I will like to thank all my P-level tutors for that. And one of my experience I had in ISE is I was able to attend the audit simulation program organized by Sunway University in Malaysia. It was my first attempt to know more about audit processes. I just had theoretical knowledge about audit before I went there, but actually performing an audit with a team of complete strangers and getting it reviewed by one of the Big Four was all an incredible experience. My journey to become an SCC affiliate was a delightful ride with a lot of bumps, but I don't want to change anything that have happened. And to all those who are going to do ACCA, one of the main reasons I will recommend it is that it is a globally accepted qualification. And employers around the world knows it, and there is immense opportunity around the world. And all the best for your future, and thank you so much.
Well, Angel, that was straight from the heart, I would say. And hats off to the academic team of ISE. Thank you. Over to Angel Davis, ex-Rajagiri College of Social Sciences. She was working as assistant professor. Now Angel is into freelance teaching. She is in the process of building more ACCA aspirants. All the very best of luck, Angel, and over to you, please.
Thank you, Bintu ma'am. Happy to see you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Angel Davis. I'm an MBA graduate from Indian School of Commerce, very proud alumni. And I belong to the 1719 batch. And I'm also an ACCA affiliate. And as ma'am said, my first job was an assistant professor at Rajagiri College of Social Sciences, teaching ACCA students like a degree program that we have at Indian School of Commerce, but not an international university. It is belonging to the MG University itself. And right now I'm doing freelancing into ACCA tutoring itself to build more on specializing my P-level skills, P-level tutoring. I specialize in the audit paper right now, and talking about my journey as an ACCA student, and like Angel Mary said, what to do after 12th was their question. After the degree, I wanted to do a post-graduation of my master's degree, and I was looking into a lot of courses for doing my MBA, but I landed up into this course by knowing from a friend, and she said what MBA is normal, what everybody does, right? But an add-on professional degree with an MBA was a very unique program which I couldn't find in any other colleges at that point of time. And degree program, I think that came after when I was doing degree, such a program was also not available. And MBA with ACCA, I think I can very proudly say that our Indian School of Commerce and Jain University are the very few colleges right now in Kerala is providing with an MBA master's program, right? So I think that's a very add-on advantage when we talk about our CV. We are having a degree, post-graduation, as well as a professional qualification will definitely project you as a outstanding person, and that will definitely boost up your career. And me, especially, I was not into, my starting was into the educational field, and I really love teaching. So I thought I'll take that forward. But I think as an ACCA affiliate, like all the other panelists said, there are a lot of opportunities into the auditing, accounting, and even the strategic level field. And I think we need to, as ACCA affiliates and members, should aim at being the strategic professionals where we can be in the board of directors of the company. That's the opportunity that a professional course like ACCA is providing us, to aim high, to explore beyond the boundaries of our country, beyond the boundaries of different qualification. And talking about our program, MBA program, We are having a lot of add-on qualifications, as Thomas sir said. It's not just ACCA. If you want to be a CIMA or a CPA, if you want to migrate to Canada or US or Australia, you have a lot of opportunities again with this MBA program that if you write a few more exams, you're already having a lot of exemptions. So it is like an add-on. You don't need, it's a smarter way of doing things. And that's the best part of it. When so many people ask, we are having exemptions, so don't you think those people who do it directly and those people who get exemptions, how it is it not fair and all that? I will say we are doing it in a more smarter way than doing it maybe only as ACCA or only as CIMA. We are doing it in a more smarter way where we both have a degree and a professional course, or a master's degree and a professional course. So I think that's more smarter way to think about than just thinking that exemptions are a good thing because we are studying all of it in our syllabus. And I can very well say that our MBA program as well as our degree program is very well structured to include all the ACCA papers at the F level to make sure that our students are studying it in not less manner. Even we are doing it, all the assignments and projects, which is not there for a regular ACCA student. So we are more equipped than a regular ACCA student, that I would say. And I think those who are aspiring to take up this course should definitely go forward, because it is only going to help you in all the manner. And I was very fortunate to be part of the convocation ceremony held at UK Scotland, and we also got the opportunity, me, Saib, and all got the opportunity to even meet the CEO of ACCA, Ms. Helen Brand, and we're very happy. I don't think it's an opportunity that a regular ACCA student would easily get, and we had a lot of fun. That was an amazing, we can say it was as a trip, as well as very educative, and a lifetime opportunity that Indian School of Commerce had given us to go to the university to see our campus. And it was a great opportunity. Maybe I would give a suggestion. Maybe we can have an exchange program. Maybe a semester there would be a great thing. Have a higher exposure to students who can directly see their university, the University of Western Scotland. The pictures shown in the, it was all a memory back to our trip when Thomas sir showed all those pictures. So very happy. And I'm very glad that I was invited for the ceremony with this webinar, along with all the great panelists. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Angel. A lot of beautiful memories, I would say cherished. Happy to know that you enjoyed all those moments. As far as working smart is concerned, exactly what Mr. Ren said, exactly what Mr. Milind was saying, sharpening the ask and trying to get, stay more relevant, and let your journey, I would say, give wings to more ACCA dreams. Angel, thank you so much for that. Now let's hear from Syed, our proud entrepreneur. Over to you, Syed. You'll have to unmute.
Oh, thank you, Bidya ma'am, for your wonderful introduction. Good afternoon, panelists, alumni, my friends and parents who are listening here. Myself, I'm Syed Mohammed, and I'm a 2016-19 BA IBF graduate from Indian School of Commerce. And I have been working with EY as an auditor and then BDO. And now currently I'm running a small business over in my hometown. So when talking about as already both angels already told here, everyone was having a question like what to do after +2, after our schooling. And for me, it was like, I want to do something different rather than a degree. And then, I came to know about ACCA. I know ACCA from the very 10th onwards. I always had a dream to take ACCA. But what I took is in a different way, which IEC has offered me, because I could tell that we were the first batch to enroll for the BA IBF course program designed by IEC. And we were having a much trouble at that time. Like we doesn't know where to inquire, what is this degree about. And all those things. But I can proudly tell now that I'm a BA IBF UWS graduate at the same time, and an ACCA professional, and also a BCom graduate. All these, like, I can tell it's only because of the opportunity that ISE gave me to do all this in a span of less than 3 years. And when talking about my career journey in ISE, it's always like a awesome career that I had there. Like Angel just now said, like, we always heard some quotation from the other people, like, we are a degree students, we are not a professional, but I could say that we are packed up with more skills like all other professionals, all other panelists told here. It's not just the book theory or the paper theory that we need for the current competitive world, but like all other people how you tell, like Ransomware sir and all, we need skills to compete in this world. And that, I guess, I have achieved. Not I, we all the graduates from the ISE has guys achieved a little or more, because it's not the exam and the book that we are gasping from here, but at the same time, we have been given a more of a practical works, webinars, assignments, all those things, which boosten our skills to be competent enough. So that I can proudly tell that I'm running a restaurant right now, and I could say that I am using some of the either the book theories, the skills that I gasped from the papers and the ACCA courses that I am using the same thing in my business. Not that fully, but I can tell, like, I utilize it in some other way. And yeah, like Angel told, we have been given a chance also to visit our official convocation ceremony happened there in UK, and it was a very great thing happened to me to visit ACC headquarters, which very few get an opportunity to visit. Also the CEO, Helen Brandt, UW's delegates, and a 1 week of London trip sponsored by our college. That's awesome. And then towards the parents and the students who are listening to you, if you could, like, if you want to do something different and something in a unique way, go for this degree, because it has got all the necessary skills, all the accreditation, professional bodies accreditation, like Angel already told. If you want to migrate to some Canada or Australia or something other, I guess almost 11 professional bodies are accredited with this program, which is easy because I already witnessed this, because I already earned the exemptions from the ACC and CMA, and I can tell that to get for that CPA or something like just some kind of one or two exams is enough to qualify for that, and I'm looking for it. And yeah, that's it. I go. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Syed. So nothing more to say. You walk the talk. I mean, you have worked with corporates. You're an entrepreneur. You have much more to do, right? And then you keep inspiring people. That's great. All the very best of luck, Syed. Over to Anto Jose. Anto is an ACCA finalist. Anto.
Yeah, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Very good afternoon, Anto. Yeah.
Right now, I'm an ACCA finalist. And about my ACCA journey, why I chose ACCA. After my 10th grade, I was having no idea about what to choose, science stream, commerce, humanities. And my parents, they suggested just go for science, because you can, after 12th grade, you can deviate to any other careers if you choose science. So I chose science. And after completing my 12th grade, I was pretty sure that I'm not interested in physics, chemistry, biology, engineering, medicine. That's not my kind of taste. And I was interested in finance at that time. And my brother suggested about the professional courses. First thing that came into my mind, that is CA India, then ACCA, CIMA, CMA, CPA. And among those, I chose ACCA. For that, for me, there were mainly two reasons. First thing, it's global acceptance. ACCA, it's a global degree, and it is well accepted by 179 countries. And my wish is to work abroad, so I chose ACCA because that's my kind of taste. And second thing about the flexibility in choosing ACCA means ACCA they conduct exams 4 times in a year. That means in December, March, June, September, and if you're looking to complete degree with us as early as possible, then I think ACCA it's a better option. You can complete the ACCA with 2.5 years. And when comparing CA and ACCA, I'm not okay. Anyway, I'm just comparing CA and ACCA. CA it has 3 levels: CA Foundation, CA Intermediate, and CA Final. And in CA Intermediate, there are 2 groups, and for each group, there are 4 papers. And even though if you pass in all the 4 papers, and if you fail to get the aggregate, you want to write that all the 4 papers once again. And in case of ACCA, if you fail in 1 paper, there is only need to write that out that 1 paper only. And I'm not just saying that ACCA it's just easy peasy. It's not easy, but when comparing CA and ACCA, my opinion is ACCA is quite flexible enough. And so right now I'm in the ACCA journey. Now I'm writing a strategic professional purpose. 3 more to go. Hopefully looking for an internship. What I want to say to the students is that if you want to develop your career in finance, wealth and assurance, taxation, strategic planning, corporate finance, risk and compliance, consulting, ACCA, it's a good option. And never ever think that it's just easy as ABC. It's not simple. It's not just as easy. You need to work hard, and there is no substitute for hard work. Hard work along with smart work. It will help you to achieve your career. And thank you, and all the best.
Certainly, yes, Anto, there is absolutely no substitute for hard work. Right. Thank you so very much for the detailed talk on the program. It means a lot. Right. Thank you. Over to questions from the audience, please. Here there is a question from Sangeeta. Sangeeta. Hello? Sangeeta? Okay. By the time Sangeeta gets connected, I have a question to Mr. Ram, please. Like many other industries, one of the top accounting trends is a desire for more flexible and remote work. Some 77% of accounting professionals would like to continue to work remotely. But remote work brings challenges to accounting and finance teams, intensifies the risk of cyber attacks, increases data breach cost, etc. Your take on this, please, Mr. Ram.
Sure, yeah, thanks. And I think we'll have to look at 2 parts into this question. One is basically the public data, which is not confidential data. The other is the confidential data. And if you take accounting, we are going to be talking about data which is relating to a particular company, which is going to be restricted data, confidential data. Of course, when I used to be working, when I go back in terms of the outsourcing industry, the data security became a lot more very relevant. So when the companies in the Western world, US and Europe, started transitioning the work to the countries like India, what they wanted is basically in terms of right from employing a person. So when a person is employed, he or she will have to go through very rigorous background check. Sometimes the customers used to give the what type of background check they should go through. And then once we actually identify, because that is where everything starts, you need to take a person with an integrity, because whatever amount of data protection we bring, if that person has access to data and he starts, he or she starts dealing with the data, that is going to be dangerous for the company. And as a service provider to another company, that becomes a lot more tied to the contract and the cost related to that. And the second part is getting into even can you carry anything to the workspace? So we had a policy where we had all the mobile phones or even paper and pencil also cannot be carried to a floor. Because even in a paper pencil, you can note the credit card, because the amount of information in the finance and accounting, you will have access to the bank account, the credit card information and all that. And there's always the scope for that to be tampered with. And that used to be the scenario when it used to be in the office, working from office. Now, because of the pandemic, we don't have a choice. We need to work from home. I think it has really worked well, but there are a lot of concerns around work from home. And there are various reports where there have been issues with the data breaches. One intentionally, the other is somebody hacking into it. And when you actually work from home, you may have a Wi-Fi which is not protected by password. And suddenly I see a lot of people, even if they're working from home, they take the laptop, they go to a hotel and work. They actually work on the move. They're going to be accessing through a public Wi-Fi point. And the public Wi-Fi are basically open, it's vulnerable. So any data can be taken. Second, you need to make sure that you're actually encrypting the data whenever you're sending any financial data that is encrypted. So what the companies will have to, there are challenges, but I think this is going to be the future. Even if there is going to be a normal situation, I think many companies are looking at how to make people work from home. Or it could be something like 2 or 3 days in the office and another 2 days in the work from home, which could give time for the team also to have time for their own self. And but I think there are a lot of things which we need to do. We need to have a good policy, and then the second is going to be in terms of the connection. You need to encrypt the data. You need to have a virtual private network, and you need to enable the firewall in the system. I can say last year during the initial part, of course, we dealt with a lot of public data. That was not a problem. Our team, 1 or 2 members did not have a firewall. They were actually connected to the server. And when they connected to the server was attacked by a software called the Ransomware. So how does the ransomware work? It basically, the ransomware is some encryption sent by a particular team. The purpose is they will actually negotiate with you to decrypt and give you the original data. So they can collect in millions of dollars. Of course, we had the backup. So we had a constant backup, and we did not lose the data. Of course, it was all public data which we had. If you had any private confidential data, that is going to be impacted. There is a question of data breaches happening, but I think the company will have to really get into address. I think every stage is going to be looking at, there is going to be a threat. How do you address the threat? For that purpose, you cannot tell the team to come to the office and work. That is going to be impacting the life in the current situation. I think all employers will learn in terms of how to work from home, and this could be a new norm while going forward.
Okay. So maybe by implementing proper security measures and industry relevant, yeah, that would help them. Yeah, thank you. The next question is to Mr. Milind Dathe. The core training for accountants, which included the basic accounting, auditing, and tax preparation, was a thing of the past. An accountant can now perform statistical accounting or forecast analysis with great efficiency with the help of automation. So what new skill sets and specific will help a finance profession to find new challenges with more, or rather much more, to offer? Milind sir.
Yeah, thank you very much for this very, very relevant question for the aspiring finance professionals of tomorrow. But as I said, they must have one skill in common, and that is they must be able to befriend technology. Unless you befriend technology, the survival itself is going to be doubtful. Now, when I say embrace technology or befriend technology, what are the specifics that you need to address? Well, in many organizations, even big organizations, candidates who are having proficiency in Microsoft Excel are definitely always preferred. Excel, I don't mean the ability only to enter the data, but to use the analytics functions within the Excel, with using of various functions that are available in Excel, will help the candidates to analyze the data, analyze the financial data, and then provide it for business decision making. So proficiency in Excel is one. Second is ability to use ERP packages, the enterprise resource planning packages. And the most common packages that are used all over the world today are SAP and Oracle. So a little bit of knowledge on how to extract data from these systems with the help of business intelligence tools and provide analytics to the decision makers is what the industry is looking forward to from the new accountants, not only transaction capturing. So that's the second specific skill to be acquired is going to be very important for you. The third technology related skill, which I would request each of you to embrace, is the e-filing mechanism. A lot of compliances, taxes are now to be, tax returns especially, are filed on e-platforms. And every accountant of modern day must have the ability, a capability to use those e-filing portals of governments. It's not only filing income tax returns in India or GST returns in India, but if you, the company that you're working with is a multinational, you may have to, look at the portals of various countries of the world, and therefore you should get that knowledge definitely. So this is so far as specific skills in technology are concerned. There are certain domain-specific skills. Again, I'm going to talk about 2 or 3 specific skills which you must start having. An accountant or a finance professional must have business acumen, business awareness, commercial awareness. Without that, you become only a transaction capturer, a bean counter. Unless you know how a business operates, what's the business model, where are revenues coming from, how the costs are spent, you will not be in a position to perform your role of an analyst in a better manner. So you must have commercial awareness. Now, how do you get it? You have to keep your eyes and ears open. Look at how different companies in different sectors are doing their business. Read a lot. Now, there's a lot of public domain data available to you. The annual reports of the company, the various websites of the organizations, huge reservoir of data is available. It's for us to get the skill of being able to use that and acquire business acumen. The second specific domain-specific skill I would like each of you to know is the new risks and new challenges that are thrown because of the changes that are happening all over the world in terms of changes in the business model, in terms of changes in the regulatory norms, which require different types of governance, different types of compliances. So if you, as an accountant, as a finance professional, are unable to identify the risks correctly, you are not going to be a very good professional. So learn how to identify and minimize the new challenges, new risks. And the third thing is you should be able to understand how financial modeling is done, because that is what is going to help you to do your financial planning, to do your financial forecasting with the help of business data, to be able to churn out your budgets, your plans, and your strategic plans for next 5 to 7 years. And apart from that, of course, there is no alternative to knowledge of IFRS. You must acquire that knowledge even before you enter your first job. Even if it is at entry level, you need that knowledge base. So these are the 2 things which you must concentrate. One is the technology related specific skills that I talked about, and the domain specific skills, which are not theories, which are applications. That is what you must, grasp as such. And of course, apart from these 2, you have to have soft skills and communication is the main soft skill that generally industry people talk about, that even if it's a gold medalist or a very high ranker in the degree or postgraduate degree, communication skill is generally found to be very poor. And when I say communication, it's not only being able to talk through, it's also understanding others, listening skills. It's also writing skills. And it's also numerical skills, because you're basically going to be a number man or a number woman. So these are the specific skills which I advise, which will go a long way in converting you from a normal accountant to a great accounting and finance professional in future. Thank you. Hope I have cleared it.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Hope all the students would have listened to this, specifically the holistic skills which are needed. Thank you so very much, sir. Panelists and students, we were saying that we were informed that the session would get over by 1 o'clock. Can we take 10 more minutes, please? Is it okay? Is everyone okay with it?
Yeah, fine.
Mr. Ren? I think you.
That's fine. Sorry, that's
yeah,
fine.
Thank you very much. Yeah. So next question is to Venugopal sir. Sangeeta, are you able to ask a question, or shall I ask on your behalf? So the question is from Sangeeta. Does a campus have industry experienced faculty members for teaching? Can you please share the records of passed out students and pass percentage?
Ma'am, you have actually triggered two questions.
Yes, sir.
One is whether we have got industry experienced faculty members.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So I would like to clarify that our panel of, or ISC's panel of faculty members include working professionals, teaching professionals, that is professionally qualified teachers, as well as a group of industrialists or working professionals who used to come occasionally to have interactive section with the students. Regarding pass percentage, I cannot give any data of pass percentage of pass students now. Even then, the pass percentage on an average is 95 to 100%. If we take each batch, it is the pass percentage is 95 to 100.
Thank you, sir. Malavika, you had a question? Malavika, are you there? Malavika? So this question is from Malavika, and this is to Venugopal sir. What are the career opportunities after completing this integrated finance program? What about the placement opportunities provided by the campus?
I think from the deliberations that has taken place the last one and a half hours, I think all of you might have understood that by acquiring the qualification of ACCA or any other professional accounting degree or financial degree or qualification, so there is no question of waiting for a job. You will be placed while you are studying. From our experience, our students in ISC, they are getting their placements, or at least as interns, while they are undergoing their coaching in our institute. After the 9th paper for completing their higher diploma level, they used to be absorbed by global accounting institutions or what you call consultancy firms, and they will be given salary while they undergo coaching with us in the early morning hours for their professional papers. I think it is Said would be the best person to elaborate what was his experience.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Venugopal sir. Yeah, I guess I already answered for that question. I can tell that ISC always have a robust placement cell, because I am a member of that. I'm a secretary of that placement group that we have, where we have almost 540 to 600 students in both groups, and where we'll post on a daily or a weekly basis different job requirements that are coming in the different portals. We are posting into it, and all the accumulated candidates can apply for it. At the same time, I have been also witnessed several campus placement drives that has been conducted by ISG, and I have been in two campus drives that are two final rounds of two campus drives, but unfortunately I couldn't get. But I'm so happy that one is for the other good, right? That's why, yeah. So I got I can tell immediately after my graduation, just 2 months gap, I got graduated in June, and I landed up in EY as an auditor on September. And then from there to video switching, it's easy to get jobs. Like if we are competent enough to prepare for the interview roles and the recruitment process that are happening. That's it. And also, like Vedugopal sir just mentioned, it is not necessary that we need to complete the graduation or an ACCA qualification. Once when you complete like 8 to 9 papers, employees are looking for you. And I can tell that, yeah.
So keep your eyes and ears open and be a continued learner. That is what matters, right, Syed?
Yeah.
Thank you, Syed. Thank you, sir. Now the next question is to Mr. Ren Verma. Mr. Verma, tomorrow's accountants must combine their technical skills with professional ethical standards, you were saying, to meet social and environmental challenges head on. What is your take on the ESG gained newfound focus in the modern organization? Something which is very relevant. I thought I'll just ask you this question because there are so many students who would be benefited out of this answer. Yeah.
Thank you for the question, Bindu. I mean, it is indeed very, very relevant, especially in this day and age. I mean, so over the past decade, from the perspective of organizations, investors, etc., consideration of ESG factors has gone from nice to have to need to have. I mean, ESG, which formed the pivotal factors investors used to measure the sustainability and ethical impact of a company or business, is rapidly moving from just mere ideas to mainstream practice, especially against a growing backdrop of serious environmental and social impact warnings. So with pressure being exerted on companies to show that they are playing their part in the fight against climate change, that they treat their employees well and care about the communities, organizations need to show they are doing more than purely making a profit. Many customers and consumers are now more aware of companies' ESG performance, and they tend to prefer companies that can better demonstrate responsibility to the environment, employees, the wider community. And nowadays, most of the consumers are making their purchase decisions accordingly. And organizations are also paying more attention to ESG as they recognize it has become a key risk factor and opportunity driver as well for organizations. And given the rapidly changing climate conditions and tightening of environmental regulations, this could significantly affect both the reputation and operation of companies. And this will also affect the long-term investment returns. And pressure is actually growing on companies to measure and report their sustainability information. And investors are demanding ESG data from organizations that are, and they are demanding it to be very consistent, comparable, and reliable. So if you take, I mean, European Commission and the IFRS Foundation are just two examples of organizations taking significant action around ESG disclosures. In November 2020, the UK government announced its intention to require climate risk disclosures across 7 key sectors of the UK economy by 2025. And in the interim, the UK Financial Reporting Council has encouraged UK public interest entities to voluntarily report using the TCFD recommendations. So in terms of environmental sustainability, long-term efforts are very important and critical for the sake of all of us, humanity and the planet. And ESG sustainability accounting can help companies do business differently, because what gets measured, after all, gets managed. And to achieve environmental sustainability, we need strong corporate standards that are quantifiably enforced, accountants trained to accurately and comprehensively measure sustainability. And we all, the onus is on all of us, we all need to play a role in changing how we live, and our words and actions do matter. And as consumers, as professionals, we can change our lifestyle, our investments, and demand change from the stakeholders around. And together, I'm sure we can get there and protect the environment and the planet that we live in.
A collective effort is what is needed. Yeah,
absolutely.
Thank you very much. There is one last question to Thomas, sir. Sir, is there any student exchange program available to students from the institute? This is from Rashmi Jayu. The question is from Rashmi Jayu.
See, at the moment, we don't have a student exchange programs, but students can go to UK for doing the project dissertation work. They can go for, but that too, because of this COVID situation, such things, will be happening after the approval of the governments. So normally, at the moment, it is not there, we can say.
Okay, and there is one more question. What are the benefits of this integrated program?
Okay. See, integrated program is one of the very important advantages. You're getting 9 papers exempted from ACCA. That's the most important one, where you need to do only 4 papers. And not only that, actually, the integrated program specializing in international business and finance. And international business and finance, the students will be learning Ifrs and all international standards. That always will help them, to get jobs in multinational companies and many other foreign countries.
Thank you, sir. So I hope Ria Agarwal, Anantaram, Ashok, there is someone without name, Nokia 7.1. It says all your questions have been answered by the panelists. Yeah, right. Let's now move on. So there is one more which has come: BCom plus ACCA or BA plus ACCA. Which one is more beneficial?
Okay, see, this BCom plus ACCA, normally students get a 6 papers exemption, and not only that, BCom, students learn actually the normally Indian curriculum where IFRs or IAS is not there. Whereas in our BA program, the students study the same syllabus of ACCA, and those, if any student want to pursue ACCA, BA honors is always preferable.
Great. Okay. It is now time for panelist feedback. Mr. Verma, quick few words. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Bandhu. I mean, first of all, I would like to thank you and ISTC for inviting me to this webinar. I mean, it's always so good to interact with such an aspirational youth or youngsters who would want to come up in life, make a change, make a difference, and these are the future finance leaders, future leaders who would be the torch bearers, who would be bringing that change and difference in this world. So it's always good to be part of such kind of events, and as always, it's so good to see when I listen to the alumni, Angel Mary, Angel Davis, Syed, Anto. I could see the kind of commitment ISTC and ISC is trying to give the best to these students, to ensure that these students get the best opportunity. So it's always quite encouraging to see that, and I wish, this continues, and I wish to see a lot of successful pass outs coming from the institution. And thank you very much, and let me wish everyone, all the students who are looking to choose a career. You are at this juncture, the decisions that you make now would have an impact throughout your life. So it's always good. I mean, it's always important that you choose the right path. And if you are looking to become a finance professional, there's no better qualification than ACC and the integrated program. So wish you all the best. Thank you very much. And thanks to all the other panelists as well.
Thank you for joining us today. Mr. Ram Perumal.
Yes, thanks, Bindu, for inviting me. And thanks to ISDC for inviting me for this panel discussion and sharing few thoughts. and to answer certain questions. I really enjoyed, and I wish I had something like this when I was actually, planning to do my higher studies. I think the students, given that it is a Saturday or weekend, still on a weekend day during lunchtime, they are actually sitting through the entire discussion, wanting to know. I think that shows their interest in terms of what they want to. And I think we had a good discussion, and the other panel members sharing their views. I'm sure those all if the students absorb that, so they'll definitely be able to reap the benefit of that. And thanks again for inviting me for this panel.
Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Yeah, Milind sir.
Well, thank you again very much for making me a part of this beautiful setting, and all the very best to the students. They have taken one right step of attending this webinar today. And looking at the alumni, I'm sure the way they are developing, maybe 5 to 7 years on, they would become the panelists. And that's the real success of this program. And that's how the new students, they will be in a position to guide very well, because they have by then lived through the entire career the way they have been built through ISC and ISDC courses, plus ACC, of course. So all the very best. And to the aspiring students, my only submission to them is try to be unique in whatever you do. It's apart from staying relevant, how should you differentiate yourself from others is by trying to be unique in the way you do things. Because like you, there will be your colleagues who are doing the same program, through ISC, ISDC, ACCA. The program is going to be same. But then how do you make yourself unique enough to get the best possible opportunity your way? So all the very best for that. And thank you very much for joining.
Thank you, sir. We are making a note of all the promising students out here, so that we need to invite them as panelists in the future.
Yes, yes.
You're right. Vijay sir, Venugopal sir.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I could not utilize the time slot you have allotted to me, because I am in my flat and I got some problem with the network. Anyway, it's a very lively, very rewarding discussions here, especially the experience shared by Angel, Syed, and all these alumni. It was exciting. Actually, I was thrilled to see that all these students were all these present professionals were our students last year. So we are proud of you, students or alumni. We have got people like this, or pupils or students like this, whom we have to invite the coming sessions. Definitely, it will be an inspiration for the prospective students or the aspirants who want to join ISC or ISDC or other professional courses. Anyway, there was a very, very enthusiastic discussion, very rewarding informations as well as advices from our panel members and professionals. I take the opportunity to thank on behalf of ISDC, extend our thanks to Mr. Ramparimal, Mr. Ran Verma, Mr. Milind Datte, as well as Saravana Kumar, and all the students, our past students who joined us today, and who have done it in a very, very excellent manner, Bindu Menon, and our special thanks to you also.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all.
Thomas, sir.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Actually, you organized it very nicely. In fact, everyone was telling, the special alumni, Angel Davies, Angel Mary, and say, they're done very well. Actually, I was so proud to hear,
Me too.
that was the words from you. And of course, and to aspiring students, if you have any queries, doubts, still not clarified, you can always contact us at any time. Our team will be there. Do you have any about the course or program, some other things? All right, that's all. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Sarvana Kumar. Thank you. I would say, first of all, thank you so very much for all the support you have been giving us, right? Every time whenever there is a webinar, you used to trouble here. So your few words on this, you know.
Thank you, Bindu, for this opportunity. And it is always pleasure to engage with student fraternity and especially to share the current updates on the education space, which is going to give some clarity and direction in terms of setting their own career path. Because this is a very key moment of decision making in every student's life, and I hope all the participants would have got benefited from this session. My special thanks to Mr. Ren Verma for literally waking up a very early morning in UK.
And then I'm making him stay for beyond the time.
Yeah.
It is already finished.
And I also want to specially thank Mr. Ram Permal for accepting my request to be part of this session. Because he had some other engagements with some work with some of the consulates. So, but still, when I mentioned that the purpose of the session is this, then he said, okay, he accepted, sir, and he said, so sure, sir, and I'll be part of the session because it's to be addressed for the students. So, students, you will all have to understand one thing. You have everything available with us in spite of all our challenging situations, what we are all going through. It is the change in the perception how we are seeing opportunities, the change in the positiveness how we are looking at opportunities. So my request is, as all the experts in the panel has shared their insights, opportunities which is revolving around, and as rightly mentioned by Milan sir, I just want to see the future panelists from the alumni coming in more, and that means we need to have more number of alumni. And I wish all the best for all the participants for a successful career journey. And we from ISC, ISDC and ACCA team, and with our employers, we are happy to support any aspiring student who wants to make a career journey through ACCA. Thank you. Thank you, Bindu.
Thank you. We've come to the end of the session. Thank you all for joining us today. We hope the future accountants have made the session very informative and engaging, wherein the panelists have dealt with the topic in detail, covering almost all the major queries raised with their profound knowledge and industry experience. Thank you, Venugopal sir, Mr. Ren Verma, Milind sir, Mr. Ram Perumal, Thomas sir, and Mr. Sarvana Kumar Balachandran. Thank you, alumni, Angel Mary, Angel Davis, Syed, and Anto, for sharing your insight and showing more light on the path you've already traveled. Big thanks to students and parents for joining us today. Wish you all a very great weekend. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.